now that we've taken the time to discuss with you these provisions individually a little more in detail, now I want to take a step back and look at how they interact with each other and the implications for key stakeholders. So I guess the first question we need to ask is, who are they? Who are the key stakeholders for these provisions that we've discussed? There are three, in fact. The first being, can't do this right. The first being the consumer, or you. The second being the private health insurance companies, and the third being the government, both state and federal. Now that we know who these stakeholders are, we need to ask the question of how they are affected by these provisions. We're going to start with just a quick review of the 6 provisions that we've been talking about in this presentation. The first of which is the pre-existing conditions, just saying that participating insurance companies can't deny an individual coverage because of pre-existing medical condition. The second is the individual mandate, which requires all eligible individuals to attain health insurance. The third is the employer mandate, which requires all employers or all large employers to offer health insurance to their employees. The fourth is the state health exchanges, which and the fifth is the minimum essential benefits, which standardizes the covered services offered through the exchanges. And the last is the coverage for dependents, which just extends the age that one can stay on their parents' insurance plans to 26. Now that we've revisited those provisions, let's just keep in mind the ACA and its intentions. The intentions of the ACA are to increase coverage by offering a means of insurance, of health insurance, for individuals up to 400% poverty level income. It's also goal is to contain costs by to the individual by providing subsidies for those that qualify and basing premium costs off of income level rather than health risk and potential costs to the insurance company. And lastly, it's to improve care by offering an increased amount of services covered by health insurance companies to individuals. Keeping the ACA objective in mind, we'll get started with the discussion of these different provisions, who they impact, and how they must interact in order for the success of the ACA. We'll first start with the creation of the state health exchanges, which are the portal for individuals and employers to shop around for different plans that best fit their needs at prices that are affordable to them. These exchanges provide subsidies and premium caps for individuals up to 400% poverty level income. So this is the basis of where it all starts, of increasing access to coverage for individuals. As I said, it starts with the creation of the state health exchanges. And on these exchanges, the insurance companies that decide to participate are regulated in a fashion that it caps the profitability that they have on their end. Through these regulations, like I said, the pre-existing conditions, the minimum essential benefits, and the coverage for dependents, the pre-existing conditions is forcing them to insure a much sicker and more costly population. The minimum essential benefits is mandating that they provide an increased level of coverage as regulated by the state government, and the coverage for dependents is allowing individuals of an older age up to the age of 26 to remain on their parents' insurance plan. So these regulations are costly for private insurance companies. They limit their profitability, and they create financial challenges with providing plans that meet these requirements but but are at the lowest cost to them. So we're going to end here by briefly discussing the regulations on individuals and employers, and then getting to the interaction between these two groups of provisions. So for the individuals and employers, we're looking strictly at the individual and the employer mandate, which both serve as a function of requiring all eligible individuals to attain health insurance through either individual insurance or through their employer. So then this brings us to the interaction between the two of these. Earlier, as we discussed, the regulations and the profit limitations that have been placed on these insurance companies, and the individual mandate and the employer mandate act as a countermeasure to offset the regulations for the insurance companies that would incentivize them to join the exchange, because they're not forced to. If you look at from a total revenue point of view, this is the price that they can charge is getting smaller through these regulations, but which would decrease revenues. But on the other hand, the volume in which you're insuring, the quantity in which you're insuring, is increasing. So we're looking at these two offsetting by this one getting larger and this one getting smaller, and keeping total revenues the same, if not more. So it kind of paints, well, briefly, and just a small example, begins to paint a picture of the interconnectivity of the provisions in this bill. Well, this is just one example. This is an extremely complex bill, and this occurs in multiple other areas as well. So it starts to indicate the implications when you start to mess with or try to remove sections of the bill, and how it can affect the sustainability of the bill as a whole. So with that said, we'll step away from the interactions and implications, and we'll move on back on to the PowerPoint presentation and discuss future impacts.